14, 15, not quite what I was hoping for. 1 year ago, I challenged myself to wear every single item in my almost 250 piece closet, and that was just the clothes. Okay, that did not count for the shoes, of which I had almost 50 pairs, wasn't including bags, accessories, or anything like that. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, I did not foresee the twists and turns that this challenge would bring. I didn't foresee the challenges just in my life in general. Let's go. I started strong. I really did. You know, it was May of last year. I was wearing plenty of t-shirts and dresses and I was feeling good. And then about 4 months in, the wheels started to come off. I don't know what has come over me this week, but I have just been ready to let go of a lot. Today, I just came in and did a big sweep. I don't know why, but this week I've just fed up. My clothes, I'm fed up. It is September. I am... Hi, baby. Down. I don't know what it is about this point in the process, but I'm forcing yourself to wear your clothes every day. You get to a point where you just think ugh, I'm gonna have to wear this thing at some point. Looking back now, I guess a lot of the problem was the fact that I started with the easy stuff. I started by wearing the things that I was kind of already wearing on a regular basis, the stuff that I already knew I loved. So if I were doing this challenge again, I would start with the harder, quote unquote, things, the items that I don't reach for as often. The reason I would do it that way is because I think as a challenge goes on, you naturally run out of steam, you naturally run out of motivation. And for me, that happened right as I was about to hit the stuff that I didn't normally wear. It was right before I got to the stuff that wasn't kind of in regular rotation. So at that stage, I was just fed up. I wanted to wear the easy stuff. After that initial bump, I learned a second very valuable lesson. But look, you don't want to just sit here and watch me rabbiting on. So what we're going to do is finish out this closet today. I am going to declutter bags and shoes. I will still keep talking, but yeah, we're going to finish this here together. So after that kind of initial realization about, the fact that I was making it too easy on myself and the subsequent decluttering spree when I was just fed up, I hit another snag. The fact is that in summer, I wear a lot more of my clothes. I'm generally out and about a lot more, especially when my daughter's in school because I'm walking her to the bus stop in the morning. Not that I don't get dressed for that during the winter, but when the weather's colder, I'm usually wearing a coat, which means that nobody can see what I'm wearing underneath the coat. So chances are I'm probably still in my pajamas, like a pajama top or something, and I've just pulled on a pair of jeans or something to get me to the bus stop and back. So yeah, during the summer, I'm out more, I'm wearing more outfits, I'm kind of seen a lot more, whereas in winter, yeah, I just pull a coat on, call it good. So I tend to wear the same things over and over. So whereas I feel like in summer I have lots of options. I can wear a skirt with a top, I can wear shorts and a t-shirt, I can wear a dress or a jumpsuit, different things like that. Whereas in winter, it's really just jeans and a jumper, or you might call it a sweater. Where you come from, I call it a jumper. So that really slowed my progress a lot. I was a lot more limited in the options that I have. I just have way more warm weather clothes than I do cold clothes. But also, as well as that, my family was here for Christmas once again, and when they're here, they shop. When they shop, I shop. Plus I was also, and often am, kind of gifted items of clothing as Christmas gifts. So at Christmas time, I ended up adding to my closet. So I got 13 new items of clothing. 3 of those were gifted, and I got 1 pair of shoes that was gifted. And listen, I was thrilled with what I got, but obviously I was re-adding to a closet that I was trying to pare back. But speaking of paring back, with that little bag declutter that I just did, I got rid of 11 bags and I have 12 left. So pretty much half. I don't even know why I have so many bags because I'm not really a bag person. Personally, I feel like if it can't fit in my pockets, it's not coming with me. I'm sure in time, I'll be able to pare those back a little bit more, but for now, this is what I'm happy with. Also means that I managed to free up 3 shelves. So I think all the stuff that's on the floor, I've got like socks, tank tops, workout gear and stuff in little boxes, like storage containers on the floor. So I might move those up to the shelves. Honestly, I would prefer a dresser or something, but I don't have one in this closet. We have one in our bedroom. My husband uses that. So yeah, that's like for the future home. For now, I might move those up. I don't really like them. I don't like looking at them. I don't like that everything's just on display, but yeah, we're working with what we have. So back to the challenge then, and a little side quest that I kind of tackled during the whole year-long challenge. So in a separate closet, okay, in the guest room, I had other clothes. There were 21 items of clothing that didn't fit me at the time, so I had separated them out and I had put them in there. I didn't want them taking up space in my closet, but they did still spark joy. Just wouldn't fit. So yeah, I moved them out. While I'm taking you on that little journey, I will declutter shoes. So the guest closet where I was keeping the extra 21 items of clothing, while I was clearing out that room in general, I went through those clothes and I had a bit of a revelation. I realized that even if I ever managed to fit back into them, there were still some of them that I probably just wouldn't wear. You know, a lot of them were from my younger years, much younger, when low-rise jeans, for example, were all the rage. You know, they were clothes that I loved at the time, that I got a lot of wear out of at the time, but realistically, I wouldn't wear them anymore. They're just not my style anymore. So I let those go. I also let go of anything that was just nowhere near fitting me. Like if it was close, it was just a little snug and I still loved it and I still would wear it, then yes, I kept it. But if it would not go over my arse, like, I just got rid of it. Honestly, that was a very cathartic process for me. I think when you keep old clothing, you're kind of hanging on to a past version of yourself, or at least that was true for me. And yes, sometimes it's great to hold on to memories. You know, I have some clothes that I put in a memory bin down in the basement, things that I really love. I know I'll never wear again, but they hold sentimental value for me. But some clothes, they just don't, you don't need to keep them. Not all memories make you feel great in the present. So for some things, like there might be good memories attached to them. You know, it might not be bad memories or anything, but they're still taking away from the present. And that's what I realized with those clothes. A lot of them I was looking at and I was kind of just reminiscing on an older version of myself. And while some of the clothes that brought back good memories and it made me feel good and I could reminisce in a nice way, you know, and just be nostalgic about it, there were certain other clothes where I kind of found myself pining a little bit for the past, and I knew it was no good could come of me hanging on to those clothes. I had wonderful, happy memories of wearing them, but keeping them was just not doing me any favors in the present. This was also around the time that depression was starting to sink in for me. Now, this was not caused by the clothes or anything, although I do think a large part of it was feeling just kind of lonely, feeling isolated, I was in that kind of in-between phase where I was coming up on my 40th, and yeah, you know, the way you just kind of like start reevaluating your life and maybe pining for the past a little bit. So yeah, like I said, it wasn't like entirely the reason, but depression really started to take hold of me. So when I started looking back at those clothes, I was looking back at them with, you know, like rose-colored glasses, you know, that like everything was better back then kind of mentality. You know, I was so much younger, so much more energy, so carefree, like all of those things started to pop into my head. Life was so much better when I was younger, like no responsibilities, everything was fun. Yeah, those kinds of thoughts. So I have to say that going through those clothes and letting some of them go was quite healing. Now, I'm not saying it like cured my depression or anything, far from it, but I think it may have been maybe possibly the start of that process. It was the start of me accepting things the way they were and, you know, making my peace with the past and just letting go of it. Sad to see them go, but also not sad. Like, just get out of my life. There are certain things that you just come to realize, just even if you technically could use them, you wouldn't. You just wouldn't. The memories are up here. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to forget. You know, certain, you know, clothes that I was wearing when I got engaged, clothes that I was wearing when we picked up the keys to our first home. All of that stuff I'm not going to forget. Yeah, it has been healing in certain ways. So yeah, I was coming up on my 40th birthday, which was the end of the challenge, and I was just starting to feel like my best years were behind me. So decluttering those 12 items from that closet really helped me to close out that chapter of my life. I was able to move on a little bit thereafter. From there, I really started to kind of embrace my new identity a bit more. I was able to, like I said, let go of that old chapter and kind of step into a newer version of myself. I realized that certain items of clothing were just part of my past self, part of my previous chapter, and it became much easier then to kind of step into this new version of myself, to just shed an old layer of myself, and with it a lot of old clothes. Like, I have just shed 9 pairs of shoes plus 2 pairs of slippers. I also got rid of a belt and a pair of like braces that I had. I also spent quite a while like just rejigging everything. I'm not 100% happy with it, to be honest, but I think it's the best I can do with the situation that I have. I would love like just a little drawer unit, but for now I've done what I can. I think I've made the most of what's here. But let's face it, you're here for the final result, the final tally. Did I succeed at the challenge? The answer is no, but I started with 243 items of clothing, and that was just in this closet. Okay, I wasn't counting the other closet, although I did declutter some stuff in there, but 243 just in here. Now, like I said, I either bought or was gifted some extra clothing, so that came to 13 additional items, but I decluttered. I have no idea. Let's bring in all the stuff and count it together. I decluttered 98 items of clothing, plus there were 4 pairs of shoes in addition to the ones that I decluttered today. So in terms of clothing, that brings me down to 158 items. I won't lie, there is a large part of me that wants to get rid of 8 more items to round it out at 150. For shoes, even though I wasn't technically including those, I started with 48 pairs of shoes, and with the ones I decluttered during the challenge plus the ones I got rid of today, I am now down to 35 pairs of shoes. I did ask for your guesses in the original video when I was describing all of this starting out, so if you commented on that video with your guess, go back now and see if you were correct or even close. So yeah, I decluttered over 1/3 of my clothing and over 1/4 of my shoes. There were 15 items of clothing in my closet that I did not wear as part of the challenge, and the challenge was to wear every single item. So technically, on that score, I did fail the challenge, but honestly, I'm calling this a win. Those items are still in my closet. I cannot bring myself to part with them for some reason, but also cannot bring myself to wear them for some reason. I don't know. It's so weird though, because it doesn't feel like I got rid of a lot of stuff. Like, there's still a lot of clothes in here. It's only really when I look back at the photos and the videos, like the original ones that I took, and I can see from those that everything was just squashed in, whereas now my clothes have much more room to breathe. Well, even more today, because I'm getting rid of all of those bags and shoes. So a year-long challenge that brought me on quite the journey. You know, started off optimistic, then quickly hit frustration, then sank into depression, but came out the other side. Not at all what I had envisioned when I first started this challenge. I have to say there's a part of me that is like, let's go, let's redo it. I can definitely wear these 15 items of clothing. I have completely embraced like my 40s now, so I'm sure I'll be able to get rid of some more, but there's another part of me that is like, I am never doing this again. The 158 though, I think I will be able to, just the perfectionist in me wants to hit that 150, but listen, that's for another day. If you are struggling with your closet, you know, getting rid of clothes, and you don't want to take on a year-long challenge, you know, you're not a weirdo like me, I do have another video that has some great questions that you can ask yourself to clarify what you want to keep and what you can let go of. I'm going to make it so much easier to whittle down the contents of your closet. I'm going to pop it right here. Until next time, go raibh, míle maith go raibh. Whew, slán.